Hello, welcome to another edition of Real Life, Real God. I'm your co-host, Thaddeus McCandless.
And I'm your host, Brian Harrison, and today we're going to be talking about Saul. And Thad,
Saul.
what is the.
Well, I think we should clarify which Saul it is.
Oh, yes.
The Saul in the Old Testament, which would be David's nemesis.
Yes.
Not Saul who converted to Paul,
No.
which we don't want to be confusing. But the story of Saul is that he was chosen to be the first king of Israel. Actually, the Israelites weren't supposed to have a king at all. God was supposed to actually be their ruler, but they whined and hummed and hawed and demanded that they had a king like the other countries surrounding them, and they got a king. And Saul started off good, but he actually got off on the wrong foot. He disobeyed specifically. God had specific orders to Saul, and Saul disobeyed them. And finally, God, left him, and he ended up dying in a battle alongside his sons, and it was just a sad ending to something that would have turned out greater if Saul had listened and chosen to follow God's ways instead of his own ways.
Well, isn't that the way life works, though?
Usually, yeah, it does work that way.
Hmm.
We humans are so what's the word I'm looking for? We're so insistent, I guess, that we do everything our way, even if it's bad for us.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Saul decided. Well, he started out good.
He started out, yeah. I mean, I think in the beginning of the story, he didn't even want to be king. Like when they were gonna anoint him as king, he was hiding off in the bushes somewhere, hiding, and they found him, and they're like, oh, he didn't really want to be king. He was a Benjamite, I believe that was.
And I've always wondered if he weren't king, that we may have not heard the story of Saul and his disobedience, and
I wonder who would have been the first king then.
Yeah, me too.
But he was chosen to be the first king.
Yeah.
But and what happened is his kingdom was given to David, so he was stripped of his rank as king, and it was given to another.
Mm-hmm. Another person,
because he didn't follow the instructions that he was given. He just basically did everything his own way.
Oh yeah.
And if you look throughout the Old Testament, I mean, many people did that, and it just fell apart.
Oh yeah.
And it did not work as they thought. They thought it would work, but it didn't work.
Well, in the end, they fell.
In the end, they fell. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if
another lesson to be learned in modern times, because
and his failure, I think, probably was also, first you got to follow God. That's always what we're good at. It's always what you guys say. When God asks you do something, now you got to understand if it's really God. So you do God understands that part. Finding out if he's really, when he's really telling you to do something. But at the same time, if you're like Saul and you're like, he's telling you to do something, but you just purposely do your own thing.
Yeah, you purposely. I think, one command is that God said, I think it was like destroy these enemies. I think it was like the Amorites or something. I could be wrong. And he's like, then I want you to, kill everybody and sacrifice, was it sacrifice the animals or something?
No, he said destroy the animals.
Destroy the animals, yeah.
But he wanted to sacrifice. Yeah, Saul wanted to sacrifice
it. But he kept, sorry, I got that story wrong. But anyways, destroy everything, the cattle, everybody. And then what Saul did is he kept the best of the cattle and the best of everything. And then Samuel the prophet comes. He's like, "What are you doing? God told you to destroy everything." And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna sacrifice. I'm gonna sacrifice it to God." But God's like, "I don't want to sacrifice. I wanted them destroyed."
Yeah.
And he didn't listen. He basically just hoarded all the best stuff.
Yeah.
So that was something that he just was like, oh well, I'll do it my own way.
Oh yeah.
And in the end, it ended up he ended up resorting to he went to battle and did, what was it, sorcery, witchcraft.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I think our time is running out.
Our time is running out, but how would you wrap this up in a few words for the lesson of Saul?
Don't be like Saul.
Don't be like Saul.
I mean, you could start out well, but finish well.
You could start out well, but finish
well.
Well.
Yeah, because Saul started out good, and he was a good guy, but then the problem was in the end he didn't
finish well.
Finish as the Lord's man, and if he did, the son Jonathan would have been king. So anyway, this is the end of Real Life, Real God. I hope you join us for another episode.
And I'm Thaddeus McCandless, and I just want to say thank you for watching, and God bless.
And I'm Brian Harrison, and bye.